I'm doing this, but I am getting rid of my 700 book TBR. Okay, I'm not getting rid of every single book. However, this is the biggest book unhaul I honestly have ever done. I can't believe I'm even getting rid of some of these books because, as you guys know, I'm a very collective kind of gal. That's not the right terminology, I don't think, but I collect things. I have a very obsessive personality, so a lot of these books behind me I have bought because I love the author. I haven't even looked into the series and I've bought the whole thing, and I just need to stop it. My TBR pile is not shrinking, and I'm gonna be real, I'm never gonna stop buying books. So the only way I can kind of justify buying new books is getting rid of some of the old ones that have been either on my TBR for so long, I've read them and not loved them, or they're just insanely old and I've had them for a very long time, which you will see some of those as well. So grab yourselves a drink, a snack, and let's go through the biggest book unhaul I've honestly ever done. And insane. I'm just mind blown. So before I dive into all of the books I'm getting rid of, every single one of these books is going to be over on my Vinted. I will leave it down below. I don't really know much about what to do about prices in terms of Vinted, so please, if you see a book you love, just send me an offer because it is very, very likely I will accept it. So let's go through all the books. I don't even know where to start. This is going to be in no particular order. Authors are not going to be together because I've had these in a box and low-key they've got muddled up. So we're just going to kind of grab and go, and I'm not going to talk about them for too much because when I tell you I have so many, like I have a box and 3 piles of books, like full to go through. So we're going to dive in. So the first book I am getting rid of is Funny Feelings by Tahara Dewitt. Now the only reason I'm getting rid of this, like I'm not going to lie to you, this book cover, stunning. Beautiful. I just didn't love the book, so I'm getting rid of it. I had to be very ruthless because if you guys didn't know, me and Ryan are renovating a flat at the moment, and I'm gonna have probably a little bit less space, but also I want to have space to buy more books. Like I want to have books on shelves that I'm so excited to read, or I've read and I've loved and I probably would read again. Do you know what I mean? This one I wouldn't read again, so this is over on my Vinted, as are everything else. So this is book number 1. We then have what I believe is the indie version of The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I just didn't love it. Like I had this book, I've read this book, I enjoyed it at the time, but I'm never going to read this again, so I'm getting rid. We then have 2 books by Sarah Adams. The first one is The Off Limits Rule and the second one is The Temporary Roomie. I have read both of these. I really enjoy Sarah Adams' writing style. I find her books really fun and fast paced. I am just never going to read these again, so these are also over on Vinted. We then have a book from my bookshelf back at my parents' house, and you will see a bunch of these as well. So this one, as you can tell, is super old and yellow, but this is Never Greener by Ruth Jones. This is one of those books where if nobody wants it on Vinted, I'm just going to donate these books anyway, but this is like a super old book. I think I bought this one when I went on holiday, and as you can see, the spine is broken. Like, your girl didn't care about books back then, so that is another one I'm getting rid of. We then have 3 books by Talia Hibbert, and that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I think I would like these books, but I just don't see myself gravitating towards them anytime soon, if I'm being honest with you, and I just feel like I'm keeping them just to keep them. Do you know what I mean? So these are also over on Vinted. We then have Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I don't know how you pronounce their surname. I read this one for my and Kelsey's book club like a couple years ago. I enjoyed it. Not going to read it again. So that is another one. Basically, a lot of these books are going to be the same. I've either read them and I'm not going to read them again, or I'm not going to read them. So that is why I'm getting rid. The next one is actually more of a recent purchase. I say recent, I mean it's probably like 6 months ago, and that is Kindling by Bonnie Woods. Again, I just don't see myself picking this one up. The cover is beautiful. It's so autumnal, cozy, cutesy vibes. I just don't see myself ever really picking this one up. Like, it's not high on my list of things to read, which is a shame because I think I probably would enjoy it. But anyway, that is another book I'm getting rid of. I feel like this video was a really bad idea because now I'm going through them again. I'm like umming and ahhing about if I've made a mistake about getting rid of them. But the next one we have is Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. Read this one, it was okay, not gonna read it again. This one is a very summery kind of romancy sort of vibe. It was good, I did enjoy it, but it was just nothing to like write home about. Do you know what I mean? Surprisingly, I am getting rid of a few Tessa Bailey books, which is odd for me because I do love Tessa Bailey's writing. I have read quite a few of her books now and I've really enjoyed a good bunch of them. However, I am really trying to get out of the habit of buying every book by an author author if I just don't feel the need to. Does that make sense? Like, I was just buying all her books because I felt like I liked some of them, so I was buying them all. But anyway, this is Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. This is a 3-man, 1-woman romance book. The first paragraph even is incredibly spicy, so random but just intense at the same time. Highly recommend if you love a spice. This one is very spicy. It's very short too. It's literally 269 pages, so a quick read, just nothing I want to keep, you know. The next book is a vampire book, and this is When Life Gives You Vampires by Gloria Duke. I just didn't love this one. This was a very, what's the word, it's a vampire book where she's quite curvy, but the curves are mentioned far too much, and it was just getting on my nerves, so I didn't love this one, which was a shame because I thought the cover was just so cute and I thought I was gonna love it, but it just wasn't for me. We then have a book which I think is a more older one off my shelves. This is A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. This one, again, a YA. I have no idea what it's about. It's just such an old book in my collection. I was like, I'm never gonna read that. Like, I've probably read it like years ago. I'm never gonna read it again, so we're getting rid of that one. And then I do have 2 books by Adam Silvera. Now, I have read both of these, and to be honest with you, I just didn't love them because you do kind of know what's going to happen at the end. So the first one is they both die at the end, then we have the first to die at the end, and I just feel like these didn't keep me on my toes because I knew what was going to happen. This is a beautiful sprayed edge edition, by the way, but yeah, both of these are up on Vinted. I just don't ever see myself wanting to read them again, so those ones are going as well. We then have a series by Sarah Manning, and this is the Diary of a Crush series. Now, this I loved growing up. Like, this is a YA series as far as I know, and I absolutely devoured it. The only thing with this is the middle one does not match the series, which drives me insane. So if I ever want to buy these again for the nostalgic reasons, I will re-buy them in the actual matching editions. These were £6, by the way, when I bought them new. How insane is that? That would be £10 now. Anyway, but that is another series I read and loved when I was younger. I just don't see myself reading it again. Then we have Beach Rivals by Georgie Tilney. I never read this one. I feel like if I read this one, it will be next year, and I just honestly don't see myself picking this one up. This one says it's for fans of Emily Henry, which I do love, but again, I'm just not going to read it, so we're getting rid of it. We then have 2 more books by Tahira Dewitt. I think that's how you pronounce her name. We have Savor It and we have Rootbound. Again, these are just books which I think I picked up from either The Works or Waterstones just on a whim, and I just kind of started buying them because it was by the same author of a book that I had, and I felt like I needed every single book by every single author, which was just ridiculous. And I haven't read these ones. I've read 2 books by this author, didn't love them, so I'm gonna get rid of those as well. We then have 3 more books by Tessa Bailey. We have got Chase Me, we then have Need Me, and we have Make Me. This is all part of the same series, and it's just a series that I haven't read and I don't see myself getting to for a very long time, so these ones are going as well. When I tell you we haven't even made a dent in this, by the way, I really hope you guys are proud of me. A lot of you guys are probably thinking like, Melody, that's such a waste, like you've bought so many books and you've not read them. I know, but please bear in mind, like 80% of these are either old ones from years and years ago, from The Works probably anyway, or from 66 books, so it's not a lot of money wasted, but I do see what you mean. Anyway, I need a beverage because I am getting thirsty. One sec. The next book is At First Bite by Olivia Dade. Again, I bought this one I think from The Works, and I just don't see myself picking it up, so that one is going. We then also have The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I really enjoyed this book from what I can remember, however I do have the new covers now, so I'm getting rid of this one. Then we have a more kind of adult thriller, and this is The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. I picked this one up from, I think it was W.H. Smith's on a whim, and I just haven't got to it, so she is going as well. One which might shock a lot of you guys, and that is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I just didn't love this book. Like, I know a lot of people, especially people that I watch on YouTube, like absolutely devoured this book and loved this author and just got through this in like 2 seconds, but for me, I just wasn't obsessed, so this one is also going as well. We then have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This one is part of a 3-book series. The other 2 are in here somewhere, but yeah, getting rid of that one. I have read it, I did enjoy it, I just don't ever see myself grabbing it again. We then have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I do also have the other book in this series in this pile as well. I just didn't love it. Like, I just didn't love it. They're really short. The kind of cliffhanger in the first book and the kind of plot twist really kept me on my toes, I won't lie. However, I just don't see myself reading it again. So we're getting rid of that one. I then have 2 books by Alice Osman. The first one is Radio Silence. The second one is Loveless. This is part, I think, of a bigger series, which I just don't ever see myself reading. I'm not gonna lie. So those 2 are going as well. A couple more older books from my collection. We have got 13 Reasons Why. I am never, ever gonna read this book. I don't know why I even bought it, to be honest with you. I feel like it's just not something I would have enjoyed. I don't know why I picked this up, to be honest with you, but anyway, that one is going as well. And then we have a book by Daniel Waters, not Waiters, and that is Kiss of Life. This, I think, is a vampire book, I think. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Growing up, I used to love reading. However, what I used to love more was going into Waterstones and just picking up every vampire book that I could find, which you'll find a bit of a theme in all these books. But yeah, I absolutely loved vampire books, hence why I grew up with Twilight, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that one is going as well. I'm then getting rid of 2 books by Emily Carter. We have got Retrograde and we've got Bloodstream. I have just not heard great things about these, hence why I'm probably not going to read them. They're never on my radar and I just don't ever see myself picking them up, if I'm being honest with you. So those are going as well. A shocking one I'm going to get rid of is Bunny by Mona Awad. Now, I picked this up years ago and I really wanted to read it because I saw so much hype about it, and I know a lot of people absolutely love this book. However, I truly don't see myself picking this up. I've read a couple of her books and I've just really not enjoyed them. Like, they're not anything for me. I didn't love them. They're confusing. They make my brain hurt. So I'm probably not going to read this. So that one is going as well, which is a shame because like the cover is so cool and like very distinctive, but I'm never going to read it. So she's going too. We then have a book by Beth O'Leary, and that is The Switch. Picked it up on a whim, never going to read that one. And then we have a book by B. Celeste, which is Underneath the Sycamore Tree. I picked this up because of the cover. I have never even thought about reading it, to be honest with you. This book destroyed me, it says. I just don't think I'm going to read it. So she's going as well. Would you guys believe it? We are still nowhere near done. So if you want to pause this video and grab yourselves a drink and a snack, I highly, highly recommend. So the next one we have is 7 Summers by Paige Toon. I love the sprayed edges. I love the cover. It is just something I'm probably not going to pick up. And I just feel like if I know I'm not going to read it now, I am never going to read it. And also I have so many books that are still on my shelves that I'm itching to read that I feel like I'm always going to pick those over these. Hence why we're going to get rid of them. So the next one we have is Truly Darkly Deeply. I cannot speak. Deeply by Victoria Selman. Again, looks intriguing. Got this one from W.H. Smith's. It's a thriller, mystery kind of vibe, but I'm not going to read it. So that one is also going on Vinted. We also have Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This one was a very, very popular book, and I think I bought this one on a whim because in W.H. Smith's they had like a 3 for 2 situation and I needed another book, so I picked this one up. But realistically, I am not going to read this book. It just doesn't sound up my street. It's something to do with games or something. I'm not intrigued. We're getting rid of that one as well. We then have Jana Goes Wild by Farhara Heron, I think that's how you pronounce her name. This one was mainly picked up for the cover. It is beautiful. It screams kind of really beautiful safari kind of vibe. I'm just not going to read it. Also, so sorry about my nails. Completely forgot to say at the beginning of this video. I picked off all my acrylics yesterday and they look disgusting, so please ignore that. But yeah, this one looks beautiful, just not really intrigued by it anymore. We then have I Bet You'd Look Good in a Coffin by Katie Brent. This one, don't get me wrong, How to Kill Men and Get Away with It, I really enjoyed. I thought it was a hilarious book. I just didn't feel the need to keep it, and I just feel like this one, I think it might even be on Kindle Unlimited, so I am going to get rid of this one as well. But I did really enjoy book 1, so book 2 is probably going to be quite good, I won't lie. Then we have a Mariana Zapata book, and that is Rhythm, Chord and Malakin, I think that's how you pronounce it. I have a few of Mariana's books and I'm really excited to read them. However, this one just doesn't intrigue me. I'm not bothered by it, so we are getting rid of that one as well. Then we have this one, which is called The Boardwalk Bookshop by Susan Mallory. This one looks beautiful. I just don't feel myself gravitating for it. I just don't think I'm ever going to read this book, hence why we're going to get rid of that one as well. I had to be very ruthless when going through my books, if you can't tell, because as I said, every book on my shelf I want to be so excited to read or I want to love it, and all of these I'm just not vibing with anymore. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's keep going. We have so many more to go through. So the next 2 books we have are by Megan Clausen. The first one is Falling Hard for the Royal Guard, and we have Love at First Night. These ones I feel like are going to be cute. I'm just not bothered, so they're going as well. We then have 2 more books by Sarah Adams. The first one is The Enemy and the second is The Match. Again, these are very quick, easy reads. Something if you want to get your Goodreads number up, like these are really great because they are not long. I think they are literally not even 300 pages. Easy bingeable books. I've just read them. I'm never going to read them again, so we're getting rid of those. Then we have Dream On by Angie Hockman. Now this book actually was really interesting. I did really enjoy it when I read it. It's basically about a girl who keeps seeing someone in her dreams. I think she's in a coma or something, and then she ends up meeting him like in real life, and it's just crazy. The flop on this is insane also, but yeah, I just feel like I'm never going to read it again. But this one was really cute. I did really enjoy it and I would recommend. So there is that one. We then have a book by Tessa Bailey. I think I have the other one in here somewhere. We'll find it in a minute, but this is Secretly Yours. I have read this. I did enjoy it somewhat. Like, it wasn't groundbreaking, but I have read it and it's one of those books that I just don't feel the need to ever read again, but the cover is beautiful. And I am just trying to get over the I need to collect every book by every single author that I love phase in my life, so I'm getting rid of that one as well. We then have a few hardbacks. So the first one is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. I am pretty sure, do I have the paperback of this one somewhere? I feel like I maybe kept the paperback and I got rid of the hardback because I had 2 versions of it, and I just obviously don't need 2 versions of it. But yeah, this one I don't even know what it's about, to be honest with you. I just feel like I just don't need 2 copies of a book that I don't really know much about. Do you know what I mean? I don't need 2 copies of any book, but it's me, so you know, I do have 2 copies of multiple books. But anyway, the next one we have is Fair Rosaline. Again, this one I got from 66 Books. I bought it on a whim because the cover looked really intriguing, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm never gonna read it, so that one is also on Vinted. Then we have a book which, to be honest with you, I just feel like I'm never going to read this book, and it shocks me because I really, really love this actor. I think he's brilliant, and I think that, to be honest with you, Back to the Future is one of my favourite films. But I'm just never going to read it. I'm going to be honest, it's going to have to be this one. This is Michael J. Fox's autobiography, and I just don't think I'm ever going to read it. I might rebuy it if I ever want to get it on paperback maybe, but I'm just not in the current mood to read a non-fiction, so we're getting rid of that one. Next up we have this one. This is Bleeding Heart Yard by Ellie Griffiths, I can't even say that. This one, the only reason I'm getting rid of it is because I feel like I've had this for absolutely ages and I just haven't had the itch to read it, but the cover's beautiful. I remember looking at this, I think it was from like Sainsbury's or something, and I remember looking at it for ages and I was like, oh, this cover is stunning, but I just don't ever see myself picking this up, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of other books I would rather read, so that one is going as well. The next book actually shocks me because this author I absolutely love with like my whole entire soul. Her books are so good, and that is Carrie Soto Is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just didn't love this particular book because I'm not into tennis. It's very tennis heavy. If you love tennis, you will love it. The plot was great, like the whole plot and the emotional roller coaster you go on within this book is really good. I just don't feel like I ever like love this book so much. However, I do have the paperback, hence why I'm getting rid of this one, because I don't need 2 copies of a book that I don't love, you know? Anyway, next up we have another book by Beth O'Leary, and that is The No Show. This one is just the hardback edition and I don't really want it, but also I just don't love Beth O'Leary. Like, I feel like I've read a few of her books now and I'm just not obsessed with her, so we're getting rid of that one as well. Next up we have a few more books here. So we have got Think Twice by Sarah, not really sure what your name is because the writing's a bit funny. I read this years ago, like back in 2016 I read this book and it was good at the time. I think it's a YA vibe, so if that is a bit of you, then we are getting rid of that one as well. We then have another book here by Tahara Jewett, which is The Co-op. I didn't like this one, so it's going, but it might be up your street. It's just not for me. I didn't love it, but I also listened to the audiobook, so maybe that was why. I don't know. Next up we have the other 2 books by Helen Huang. This is The Bride Test and The Heart Principle. These are just quite spicy vibes. I really did enjoy them when I read them. I just don't feel like I'm ever going to read them again, and I don't need them on my bookshelves, so we are getting rid of those. Next up we have a book by Jojo Moyes. This is Someone Else's Shoes. This is, to be honest with you, I don't know. I just don't ever feel like I'm going to pick this up. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I feel like I wish I wanted to read it. I really do, because wow. Ooh. Okay. This is really floppy. Like, I know it's a hardback, but if we take that kind of out of the equation, look how floppy that is. Anyway, not going to read it. Getting rid of you as well. We then have another book by Mona Awad. This is Rouge. This I didn't love. It confused the hell out of me. However, this is a signed edition, so if any of you guys want this book, I have this, and it is actually signed. It's not like a fake signature or anything. I mainly picked this up because it was signed, but this book made no sense to my brain. I just don't think I am intellectual enough to understand her writing. It literally just goes over me, so we are getting rid of that one. We then have Mother-Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simon. I think I also had this one for book club. I just don't ever remember like being obsessed with it, but I remember bits of it. Does that make sense? Like, I can remember bits of it, and I read it like a couple years ago, but yeah, it wasn't something that really intrigued me personally, but we are getting rid of that one. The next book I'm getting rid of is Twisted by Emily McIntyre. Now, before you come screaming at me, this is, I believe, the American edition, and it is just like a little bit taller than your average editions, so it doesn't match. That is why I got rid of it. I repurchased it in the original kind of UK size, but yeah, this book is so good. This whole series is fantastic. If you like spice, taboo, dark, fairy tale kind of vibes, like, you will love these. This is really good, so highly recommend that one. The next one I'm getting rid of is My Dark Romeo by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen. This, I believe, is the indie edition, which I won't lie to you, breaks my heart and soul that I want to get rid of this, but I do have the standard edition now, and I don't need 2 copies, but I love this series. It's so good, and the cover is stunning. It's so beautiful, so yeah, highly recommend. I absolutely love that book. Then we have 2 books by Grace Riley. We have Breakaway and First Down. I have read both of these. I enjoyed both of these. These are just indie editions of them, and I have the kind of UK paperbacks now, so I don't need 2 copies, but I do really love this series. It was really good. I then have a book by Janine Collette, and this is Love, It's Complicated. The only reason I think I'm getting rid of this one is because I don't see myself ever finishing the series, and I just don't really need this one on my shelves, and I'm pretty sure it might even be on Kindle Unlimited. I love the cover, it's beautiful. It's just not something I need, so we are getting rid of that one. Okay, next up we have a couple of my older books now. So we have got a few books here by Rachel Kane. This is Fade Out. We also have Corpse. No, that's not what that says. Carpe Corpus. I don't know if that is right. Anyway, this one. And we have Lord of Misrule, which obviously, great name. But yeah, just getting rid of these. I'm never going to read them. So if you guys want a vampire series, then this is available. We then have a book called Love is Hell. This is by a lot of authors, actually. I don't actually know why there's so many authors involved. But anyway, this one. It's a very old looking book. This was £7. Wow. Anyway, getting rid of that one too. We then have Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler. Again, you can tell by the cover, this was just something that like teenage Melody bought because it was about vampires and she needed every book about vampires. But honestly, the prices, like all of these are £7, which is quite funny. So yeah, that one is going as well. We then have a book by Holly Black, and this is Valiant, I think it's called. I don't know if this is the same Holly Black as the author of The Cool Prince. It might be, but anyway, that is what this book looks like. You're not really sure, but anyway, that's that one. We then have Right Girl, Wrong Side by Ginny Baird, but I don't know. This one, I have read it, it was okay. I just don't feel like I need it, so we're getting rid of that one. We then have a book by Nicola Yoon, which is The Sun is Also a Star. This one, I feel like I loved and I devoured, and I just really enjoyed this one. If you guys can't tell by my version of it, it's absolutely like hanging. So this is also on Vinted, by the way, if you want it. But yeah, I love this book. I just don't ever see myself reaching for it ever again. And obviously, if it doesn't go to a good home, I will just donate that one. We also have a book by Emery Lord, which is The Start of Me and You. This one, again, I don't really know when I bought this. I feel like it was a long time ago, but I mainly bought it for the cover because it was really cute, so we're getting rid of that one. The next one is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. I have read this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but that was literally when I was 16, so a very long time ago, so we are getting rid of that one. I then have a book here by Balola, I think that's how you pronounce their name. Honey and Spice, Beautiful Sprayed Edge. I just don't think I'm ever going to read this book. I'm not going to lie to you, so she is going as well. We then have 3 books by Catherine Foxfield. I also think I have another one of these at my parents' house, so I need to grab that as well. But we have Getting Away with Murder, we have got It's Behind You, and we have got Good Girls Die First. Now these are are basically YA mystery thrillers. I really enjoyed book one, but I just don't think I'm ever going to get to these. I think these might just be on the verge of like a little bit young for me now, so we are getting rid of those as well. Okay, the next book we are getting rid of is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I just don't remember really ever enjoying this book. I still have book 2 in this series that I do want to read. I think it's called The Rule Book, I'm pretty sure. I just remember not loving this book, so it is going, which is a shame because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, from what I remember, really enjoyed that book. So we are getting rid of that one. We then have another one of my older books, which is Prom Nights from Hell by Meg Cabot, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Stephanie Meyer. It's by a lot of authors again. For some reason we have a few books by quite a few authors in one, so that is that book there. We are getting rid of that one. We have 3 books here by Anna Todd. Obviously Anna Todd wrote the After series, which I do have and I will keep because I still haven't finished it, but it is a series that I did enjoy, so I am going to keep that one. But the 3 books by her that we are going to get rid of is Nothing Less, Nothing More, and Before. And I think that is part of the After series, so I probably should like low-key keep it, but I'm just not bothered. So we're getting rid of those 3 too. Another book by Beth O'Leary, we have got The Flat Share. I've read this one, didn't love it, so we are getting rid of that one. We then have The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I read this one again for book club, and from what I remember, this one was okay. I did sort of somewhat enjoy this one, but I'm never going to read that one again either, so we are going to get rid of her. We then have another book by Talia Hibbert, and that is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. This one I sadly didn't love, so we're going to get rid of that one. And then we have another book by Tessa Bailey, which is Window Shopping. This one was so random, but it is a really cute holiday novella, so if you want to get your kind of holiday reads in next month, this one is a good one to go for because it is super short, so a really quick read. Then we have The Trust by M.H. Ickleston. I bought this one ages ago. I am never going to read this book, so I just have to admit defeat, and that one is going as well. The next one we are getting rid of is Mad Honey by Jennifer Finley Boylan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I have had very mixed reviews about this book, and I just don't see myself ever picking it up, so that one is going as well. Then we have 3 more books by Tessa Bailey. Like I say, I am getting rid of pretty much every Tessa Bailey book that I didn't love, just to make space for new ones. So we have got Tools of Engagement, which again, this series was okay. We then have Love Her or Lose Her, and we have Fix Her Up. These are all like very DIY-ish kind of romance vibes. They are good, they're just not memorable, do you know what I mean? The next book is Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. This is obviously the second book in the We Were Liars sort of series. I just didn't love this one. Like the first one, as I said, the ending was like insane and I didn't see it coming, but this one was just a bit like extra fluff, you know? I just didn't really need that one. We then have 2 books by Simone Siltani, and I'm actually shocked I'm getting rid of these because they are both a sprayed edge edition, and that is Cross the Line and Ride With Me. I just don't ever see myself reading these, and I feel like one of you guys would probably really appreciate these editions because they are beautiful. The sprayed edges are stunning. I just don't ever see myself gravitating for these, so these are going as well. Okay, so we are now on to the final pile. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I know this is ridiculous, so we are slowly getting through them. So the next one we have is Dark Visions by L.J. Smith. So L.J. Smith, I believe, also wrote the Vampire Diaries. Is that the same author as Vampire Diaries? Anyway, she also wrote the Night World series, which I think I did end up keeping. You guys will have to wait and see when I do my new bookshelf organisation situation, if I did keep it, because I can't remember. But this one is, I believe, a vampire situation, so we are getting rid of that one. Then we have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. Again, I didn't love this one. I was very, very shocked I didn't love it because I've heard so many good things about this author that I just thought I was going to absolutely love this book, but I didn't, which was a shame, so we are getting rid of that one. We then have 3 books here by Alex Duval, I think that's how you pronounce it. The first one is High Stakes and Hunted. Obviously this one is vampire books again, so these I believe have 2 vampire books inside, which is cool. We then have Bloodlust and Initiation, I think that's what that is. Again, such a Melody When She's 14 kind of pick. And then we have Ritual and Legacy. Again, vampire books, I'm just not, don't get me wrong, I love a vampire book, especially like a dark vampire romance. I'm here for it. These ones are just not going to interest me now, so we are getting rid of those. Next we have Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I have read this one, I just don't feel like I'm ever going to read that one again. We then have a book by Rebecca Searle. This is One Italian Summer. This one was also part of mine and Kelsey's book club, and I liked it when I read it. I just don't ever see myself reaching for it again, and it is literally 250 pages, like so short, and it was really interesting. I just don't feel like I'm ever going to want to read that one one again. Then we have Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. I just have the new cover of this one, so we're getting rid of the old one so that they match. Then we have Love Struck by Laura Jane Williams. This one is a beautiful sprayed edge. I just don't feel like I'm ever going to read it, and it just doesn't intrigue me, so we're getting rid of that one as well. Then we have two books by Melissa Pimentel, I think that's how you pronounce it. We have Love by the Book and The One That Got Away, both of which sound really sweet. I just don't ever see myself reaching for these, so we're getting rid of those ones as well. We are down to the final 5 more to go. So the next one we have is All About Evie by Matson Taylor. Again, this one, the cover just intrigued me. Like, I loved the girl on the front, her style. It just seemed like such a fun book, but it's just nothing that I'm going to want to read now. So we are getting rid of that one as well. We then have Off Track by Esha Patel. I have read this one. I just didn't absolutely love it, so we are getting rid of that one. We then have Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. This was another book that I picked up on a whim by this author. The kind of flop of it just seems really fun and nice, but I just don't ever see myself kind of wanting to read this book, so we are getting rid of this one as well. And last but definitely not least, we have got one more book by Alice Osman, and that is Solitaire. So that is all the books I'm getting rid of for this unhaul. Honestly, I'm proud of myself. So that is everything for today's video. If you guys have seen any books that you like the look of, please check out my Vinted. It is down below. I would love to get rid of all of these books as soon as possible because I need to start packing up my actual books and get them ready to move. But I feel like I just don't want to take these with me. So if any of these don't go, I will just donate them to charity shops, of course. But I thought I would let you guys have the option to get them now and kind of see if there's anything you would like. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do. I love you so incredibly much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.